back to my channel. My name is Anne and this is Postcards from My Golden Years. Today little Bella is with me because little Bella doesn't know how to be quiet. So rather than have her barking through my entire video, Bella is going to spend some time with Mommy in time out. Aren't you, Bella? No, she's still got her eye on the front door. Anyway, welcome back. Well, she took off anyway. So today, I am going to talk to you about getting your stuff to France. You've decided you're going to move to France. You're going to sell pretty much everything you own, well, with the exception of maybe 50 pairs of shoes and maybe 15 or 20 boxes and 2 giant suitcases and some carry-on, right? Well, how are you going to get all those boxes to France? So this week, I decided to do a little research and actually compare prices. So I found, let's see, U.S. mail through the U.S. Postal Service, UPS, DHL, Send My Bag, and the other one is called mybaggage.com. So I decided to go to every website and compare prices just for one 50-pound box based on the moving boxes that we bought. Months ago, when I started listing the things that we have at home for sale, Jeff is my husband in case you don't know him yet, Jeff and I went to the U-Haul store and I said, let's buy 20 boxes. And that way we'll get an idea of what 20 boxes looks like and how much space is in them. And we'll just pack them as full as we can possibly pack them. So we actually bought, I believe, a few different size boxes, mostly all on the large side. What I'm going to use today for comparison is one particular box. It's called a glass pack box. Now, I picked this box in particular because I'm not bringing a lot of dishes. And in fact, I've got one set of French Limoges china that Jeff bought me for Christmas a few years ago that I decided was just too heavy to move. So I've been trying to sell it. If I don't sell it, I may donate it. But there is also another set of dishes, and it's not a huge quantity, but they're just some little pieces. You know how in your kitchen there's some favorite bowls you have or a favorite dish, and yeah, it's not going to be life or death if you don't have it, but it sure would be nice. Like I have a giant bowl that I use for big salads, and I have another giant bowl that I use, not as big as that one, that I use when I make pasta. And those are like my 2 favorite serving bowls for those things. So things like that will go in the box, although I'm not sure. I'm looking at that box from a distance here. I'm not sure one of them will fit in there, but the other one for sure will. But we'll figure that out later on. That's irrelevant to this conversation. Anyway, so there are fragile things that we're going to be sending, and the glass pack boxes that U-Haul sells come with the dividers. So when I packed up Crystal from the china closet, when we sold our china closet, I took all the crystal that we're bringing with us to France, and it was very easy to just drop them in the sections. They're wrapped in bubble wrap first, and then dropped in each of the sections, and then the rest of the back box is packed again with more bubble wrap. In addition, whenever we get boxes in the mail, if there's bubble wrap in it, I take all the bubble wrap and it just gets stacked in bags in our guest room, so that when it's time to finally get the last of our things packed up, I don't have to go looking for more bubble wrap. I had purchased a roll of bubble wrap at the UPS store. They sell that too. I'm sorry, not at the UPS store. Am I saying the UPS store? At the U-Haul store, we bought a roll of bubble wrap that I used when I wrapped all the glasses from the crystal, all of the things from my china closet. I used all of that up. So I ran out of that. There are also some crystal vases and other miscellaneous crystal pieces that I'm bringing along. So I've used that. So I'm collecting everything that comes in the mail that comes with bubble wrap is now being added to the collection in our guest room, bags of bubble wrap. So that box is the one that I'm using for our purposes today to get a comparison of prices. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I found on each of these websites. So let's go take a look at sendmybags.com. Okay, so let's look at sendmybag.com. And we're going to first select from United States to France. And those are their standard rates, $170 per item for up to 66 pounds, and over 66 pounds, 170 plus, you can see, surcharge. Or they have express shipping. And with express, you can ship as little as, looks like 1 pound. So now we're going to click on book shipment, and it wants information on what we're sending. The 24-inch wide by 12 inches by 11 inches, and I'm going to call the weight 50 pounds. And I'm going to call it a box, obviously. And we'll just call it clothes. So we add that one item. And it's giving us, okay, so we have the cost of the box. This one also has an emergency situation surcharge of $23.44, bringing the cost of that box to $193.44. So I'll click on continue. I'll click on continue. Let's see if there's anything else I need to click on here. Personal effects. Okay, and there's a definition of their definition of what are personal effects. Clothes, books, other items that may be taken on holiday or shipped as part of a relocation, household furnishings. So if you're sending, if these things are not personal effects, then when you ship them, you're going to have to call them either gift or commercial. So that's not going to apply to us because everything we're sending is personal effects. Okay, so now let's go to mybaggage.com and compare the price of that. Okay, so this is mybaggage.com. Now, I just discovered this yesterday. I actually saw it advertised online, on television, on YouTube.com, between videos. So it was very timely. So I'm just going to do a little exploring here while I'm opening it up. And it looks like they have express shipping, 2 to 4 days, price per item, $123 for up to 44 pounds, $175 for up to 68 pounds, plus looks like $4.90 per kilogram over 30 kilograms. So they can pick it up tomorrow if you book in 8 hours. So let me do a little sample booking. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use the measurements, the approximate measurements that are on my Dish Saver glass pack box that I got from U-Haul. So the box is 24 inches wide by 12 inches high or deep, and 11 inches high or whatever the other number is. So it's going to be 24 by 12 by 11. So now it's telling me that an emergency surcharge has been added to the item. And for my purposes, all right, that's fine. And then, so there's a fuel surcharge of $42 that's temporary, a temporary surcharge. Okay, so I'll click on that. And so basically that box is $223.17 to ship door to door from the U.S. to France. Now we go into declaring value. And they want you to, you can't use replacement value. So they want you to put as value the actual value of this item. And since it's used clothing, you know, a t-shirt, as they say, that you may have purchased for $20 may only be worth $1 or $2 or less. And they are also suggesting that used personal effects are usually valued at around $100. So maybe the most you want to value that box is at $100. And I don't want to actually book it, so I'm not going to go any further from here. So that's $223.17 for one box. Okay, and these are the types of packaging that you can send things in. So you have suitcases, boxes, skis. Well, I don't ski, but good to know, right? And bicycles. And on the website, it tells you what you can send. It tells you how to pack it, how to attach the labels. And they have little videos within their website showing you how to attach the labels to a suitcase or how to attach the labels to a box. So it makes it look very easy. So there's an option. Now, one thing that you have to keep in mind, or in my case, not every box is going to weigh 50 pounds. And some boxes may be very small boxes. And if I go with this, I'm going to use some suitcases instead of boxes. And suitcases may weigh less. So these are things that they do not accept. So cat or dog food, interesting, but I guess I'm going to have to just take enough dog food for little Bella in our suitcase or carry-on, since we can't ship it this way. Or maybe I'll just throw it in a USPS box, send it post office, priority mail. to myself. Seems kind of crazy that they won't let you ship your dog food for your dog. I can understand a lot of these other things. I also see medical devices. So I guess, well, my husband has a CPAP machine. I'm not sure how he's going to deal with that, since I believe we rent that here in the U.S. So I'm going to have to find out if he can instantly have a CPAP machine on the other end for him. Something to add to my list. Okay, these are things, no compensation. They'll allow you to bring those things, but they're not going to insure them. So their insurance isn't going to cover any of the things on this list, which is interesting because it's appliance. Well, I'm not bringing any appliances. But you have artwork, which we do have, some prints. There is a small, pretty little blue chandelier that if I can't sell it, I might want to try to bring it. Computers, we're going to have to carry our computers. Fortunately, we each have one. And I guess the printer is going to have to be sold, and we'll get another one on the other end. Jewelry. So basically things that you don't want to lose, don't ship with them because they're not going to cover them as far as insurance goes. Okay, so now let's look at the packaging. It is, let's see, your requirements are if you're using boxes. These are the kinds of boxes that will work with their service. So here are some reviews. The reviews look good. This is definitely a service that I will consider sending some of our stuff through. Now, I had not looked at those two sites previously. In the past, I had only priced UPS and USPS, the post office, United States Post Office. And those two, I had determined were going to be far cheaper than shipping by way of a mover. So, and I believe I had mentioned in another video that I had contacted a mover, asked them to give me an estimate for shipping 20 50-pound boxes. And the estimate came back at about the estimate came back at $4,200, which I thought was a lot of money for 20 boxes. So clearly, any of these methods are going to be less. But let's take a look at USPS now for that same box that I've been pricing with the others. Okay, now we're going to look at the Postal Service, U.S. Postal Service. And we're going to calculate the price for international. So we'll go over here to France. Okay, I'm just throwing $50 in there as a value, calling it close. There we go, clothing and accessories, used clothing. Okay, so now I'm going to pick calculate based on the size of your box. And I'm going to use 50 pounds again. And I'm going to use those same measurements, 12, 11, and 24 inches. Okay. So we have Priority Express International. That would be $265.80 for the box. Or Priority Mail. We're not in a big hurry for our things, so if it takes 6 to 10 business days, that's fine with me. For $239. Now let's take a look at UPS. And let's see. So from Naples, Florida to Nice, France. It's a residential address. We'll use the same information, 50 pounds, 11 long, 24 wide, and 12 high. Okay, must include a valid zip code. So we need to throw in a zip code for Nice. Okay, I'm going to use my fictitious street. It's actually an address in Nice, some business that I just pulled off the internet. Okay, and let's get our quote. So, oh my gosh, this is even worse. So the lowest cost, if they pick it up today, it'll be in Nice by next Tuesday for $815.19. Wow. That just seems too high. I mean, that is crazy. But that is the price for one box. Okay, and last but not least, let's take a look at DHL. Okay, so here we are at the DHL website, and we will get a quote here. So shipping as a private person from the United States to, let's find France. There we go, France. And we're going to type in Nice. And the zip code. And I'll just pull a generic zip code out of Naples. And we're going to be shipping a 50-pound box, just as we've done before. And we're going to do the same measurements that we've used before. 24 inches wide, 12 long, and 11 high. And get a quote. Wow. Okay, this is for one box. Lowest price, $692.62. One moving box. So to my surprise, the winners of this entire experiment are mybaggage.com and sendmybags.com. I mean, the price is like unbelievable. And the good thing is I have heard lots of great reviews from people on sendmybags.com. People have used them, they've never had a problem, nothing has ever been lost. You can fill stuff in suitcases. I've got a bunch of suitcases out in our garage. We can fill all those suitcases. I mean, at the prices that they're charging, we could afford to send a lot of stuff in suitcases, that not the fragile stuff obviously, but soft goods, things like that. Send it in suitcases, much easier to unpack for sure. So there's my result of this little experiment. So I am going to gear all of our shipping now towards sending it by way of one of those places. It's just a very seamless thing to just go online and book Send My Bags or mybaggage.com, just book the entire thing like that. And, you know, multiply it by 20 boxes or whatever. So I can see that our move will be a lot less expensive using one of those companies. Now, if you're moving your house full of furniture, I would not try to do it, obviously, by way of Send My Bags or mybaggage.com, because they're just moving bags and boxes. They're not moving furniture. So in that case, you're probably going to have to contact a mover, and there are a number of movers. I think Schumacher is one of them, and I'll see if I can get together a few other names of movers that move from the US across the ocean. Now, one of the questions that has come up along with trying to figure out how to send our things to France, or the least expensive way, is the problem of shipping high-end designer things. For example, I don't have a lot of high-end designer things, but I sure wouldn't want to lose any of them. And I have been warned many times to never put them in check-in luggage, so I would never do that. So for me, I'm either going to carry these things into the country in carry-on bags myself, or I'm going to have to send them United States mail, US mail, registered mail. Take pictures of them, insure them. For a lot of people, these things are irreplaceable. It's the chance you take. So here are some suggestions that I have, just based on things that I've learned from other people who have had a collection of designer goods, shoes and purses, on how they got them to Europe. First thing is, I save all of my designer purses and shoes that came with boxes and dust bags. They're all in the dust bags, in the boxes. If you really want those boxes, in order to get them across to Europe, take them out of the boxes, ship the boxes empty separately. Take the items, for me, I'm going to keep them in the dust bag. If you've got one big purse, tuck the smaller purses and wallets and sunglasses, whatever, into the biggest purse you've got. Tuck that into a piece of carry-on luggage. Carry it onto the plane. Now, I'm not sure, but I think I might be able to get all of the designer purses and shoes, just giving you an idea. I don't have a whole lot of those. I think I might be able to get my most expensive designer shoes and purses into maybe one carry-on bag, maybe a backpack for excess. And then what I would do is I would pack all of the clothes and things I'm wearing when I get to France in big bags that I'm going to check. And so those things would be things that I'm going to use immediately, but you know, if God forbid they get lost and I've got to go buy other stuff, not the end of the world. But I sure as heck don't want to have to go and replace, you know, a Chanel purse or a pair of vintage Louis Vuitton boots. So those are the things, they're going to stay with me. So that's what I would suggest. And then as far as jewelry, I do have some nice pieces of jewelry, but again, I'm not going to check them. I'm not going to send them unless I send them USPS, registered mail, photograph all of them and make sure I have receipts for everything. So I think that in my case, I can probably get my most expensive jewelry and purses to France with me in one carry-on bag and maybe a backpack additionally, and maybe not have to ship any of that, and then just ship everything else. So you have to really consider how you're going to get those things there. You definitely don't want to just stick them in a box and send them priority mail. Most people that I have spoken to or done some research who have written about this or spoken about this have said that what they did was ship the boxes empty separately, keep everything with them personally so that they don't lose track of suitcases, carry-on bags, and there's a good solution. Somebody else had a solution on moving with luxury things where she was using a mover. She was having a mover move furniture, and what she did was she got big plastic tubs. She used red tubs for her most expensive, precious purses, and she told the mover that there are designer purses and shoes in this tub. And then she wrapped the tub over and over and over with tape that is like a security tape that you can't just break. So they would have to literally get scissors to cut that to get into the tub. And then she just wrapped it over and over both ways on the tub to secure everything in there. And then when the mover came to deliver her things in Europe, the first thing she looked for were those red tubs and had them brought inside right away. So that was another solution on how she used a mover to do it and sort of didn't lose track of them. But the woman who was talking about using all the tubs, she must have had a closet full of these things. I'm not that fortunate. But I thought that was a great idea. And she also color-coded her tubs for other things. You know, one for clothes, one for toiletries, one for things that she needed most urgently, first thing off the van. So there's just a suggestion. If any of you have suggestions on how you've gotten your high-end luxury jewelry, shoes, or purses to Europe, please comment below. I'm sure you can help other people just by adding your comment under this video. So that's all I've got for you for today. I will keep racking my brain to come up with more things that I need to research so that I can share them with you. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, please click below this video. Click that little icon that says subscribe, and right to the right of it is that little bell. Click on that bell and it gives you multiple options to get notifications. I always select all if it's a creator that I happen to enjoy so that I don't miss any videos. And if you enjoy my videos, you're going to want to select the all option on that bell as well. Please give me a thumbs up. I know this video will help other people, and YouTube will show it to a lot more people if I get lots of thumbs up. So it really does help with the algorithms. And last but not least, if you're not a Patreon supporter, consider supporting us on Patreon. If not now, check it out anyway. And maybe once we're over in France and we're just living on our Social Security checks, you'll consider supporting us. You can support us for as little as $5 a month. And that gives you a few extra little benefits, but it does help us defray the cost of my editing software and other things I subscribe to get the best videos that I can get to you. Thank you so much again. I will see you next time. Bye for now. If you thought this video was helpful, consider one of these. You might find that helpful as well. You might find them all helpful.